If you're waking up inside a high control religion, it can feel confusing. Asking questions about what you were taught doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means you were thinking. If you need support while coming out of a high control religion, visit xjwfriends.com. You don't have to do this alone.
Good evening,
Hello.
everyone. Welcome. How is the volume? Can someone let us know how our volume is?
We're a little darkish.
Yeah,
too,
we
aren't
are. We don't have our...
Well, we got that.
Yeah.
It might be.
Oh, let's
right.
try it. All right. Does that help? Anything?
A little bit,
Okay.
not much.
How's the
See-
picture?
See
What's
the light. We need light there, not
There.
there.
Okay. So we're going to turn that on.
This
Just getting set up.
one.
In the meantime, welcome. Thank you for coming on. We're a few minutes late, but we're here. And not too much. No, I think it's fine. Can everyone see us okay? The picture okay? Okay, Dayla says we need a Friday show. Volume is great. Thank you, Mary Flowers.
Friday show.
We have short videos during the week. If anyone catches them, we try to keep them around 20 minutes. And just go to Joe and Fran. We need one more subscriber to reach 700. If anyone's out there and they want to subscribe, we can reach 700 by tonight. And you can be in the 700 club.
What are you pushing? Oh,
Well, that's what you said.
That's true. I said we can't be in the 700 club because we didn't make 700.
We didn't make 700. At the end of the night, we'll be in the 700
Maybe
club.
some of you don't know what the 700 club is. It's not very popular with normal people, but it's very popular with religious people.
Oh, well, then we don't. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so to get us started tonight, we did put a short video out just a few minutes ago. We put it public, and it's called XJW Friends. We're really trying to promote the website because this is where folks can go to contact us. They can find a therapist, a life coach, a social worker, a preacher, whatever you're looking for. And also we list the birthdays, the anniversaries, and also the meetups. So that's important because if you're looking for a meetup in your area, maybe it'll be on there. But for the first of the month, we're not going to do it every week because it takes time.
That's something that you do.
And it's something that you can do. We're really trying to get folks to go there. So the birthdays, if we can start with February birthdays, also go to Discord too. Okay, February birthdays, February 1st, Trudy Lynn, Daniel Bartels, Norma Jean Bennett. Tomorrow, February 4th, Marcella Podos and Erica Hamo. Did I say that right? Is their birthday the 5th?
5th.
I'm sorry, I'll have to correct that. February 5th, that's my mistake. February 5th is Marcella Podos, that's Joe's sister. And Erica Hamo is our niece. They were born on the same day. February 8th, Doreen. Also Emily Dilger. The 10th, Liddy, our daughter. And of course, Debbie Moore and Vivian. February 11th, our great niece, Ava. February 13th, her father, Matt Malecki, Stacy DeYoung, and Anne, Ruby's daughter, will be 14, I believe. February 17th is Matthew Gilman. February 19th, King Tony's son. February 20th, Mr. CIA. He will be 78, and we think of you all the time. Also, Chris Parsons. February 21st, Tara Rice. February 22nd, Deanna from the Just June podcast. My brother, Peter Panella. February 23rd, Tony Pidio. The 24th, Brian Brown. 27th, Vanessa Brychak, and Colin Plummer. And the 29th, which is leap year, February 29th, Susan Carmack. So happy birthday to all of the February birthdays. And we've got a little birthday song as soon as Shauna can put it out.
We don't have a song anymore.
Oh, no song. Okay, just the birthdays.
No song. Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, then we'll go right to the anniversaries. Thank you, Shauna. February 4th is today. Happy anniversary to Severia and Bernard McCree, 40 years today. February 19th, Ken and Dina Mayo will be 43 years. Happy anniversary. And if anyone knows of any other birthdays or anniversaries, please let us know. Just looking in the chat, and Shayla Renee says, is this about the Norway case? No, actually, Vern on Fixing My Faith is going to be doing an recap every day during the Norway case, and he just put a little video out introducing that. So just go to Fixing My Faith, and Vern, who helps us with Shauna with our channel here, but he's going to be doing a separate one on the Norway.
He's going to do a great job with that. That's going to be so helpful.
Yes. And one correction on the events calendar. Tomorrow night, Dylan will not be having his Zoom connection, but he will the following 2 Thursdays. Okay. So I think Dylan will be in the audience too tonight. So we were going to talk about learn or follow. That's an interesting thought. And, did you want to start with that? Learn or follow? And then we're going to have a very short video.
The video is...
it's about the song, the lyrics. We're not going to play the song. We're going to play part of the lyrics.
Okay. Yes.
We're not going to say it.
Song.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Learn or follow.
Mm-hmm.
Those are kind of put in contrast with each other. And if you think about it, when you learn, you take in information that you didn't have before, and you can have insights that you didn't have previously, and you're able to make decisions and value judgments that you couldn't make before you had the information that you learned. That's what we do. That's what learning is taking new information that we need. So you have to learn, but you have to learn how to learn, interestingly. In other words, someone has to provide a model for you to see what it means to learn. And here's the contrast. The same situation that you could grow up in, you could be seeing and living around a model of someone who's not learning, but following. We'll just follow. Mm-hmm. Now, so is that different? Well, think about it. The person who's following really isn't thinking. They're just looking. And then when they see something, they're going to copy it or do what it says, obey. They're going to obey. And why are they going to obey? Well, because initially they don't know which way to go. They're a child. You started out as a child. You don't know which way to go. But they're going to show you. And see, here's the follower. The follower is the person that's going to look to see which way they go. Because I've got to follow them. See, they don't say I have to learn. There's information I've got to pick up. That's not the way they think. It's not the way they operate.
Is it like being a witness and they told us to listen, obey, and be blessed? Like we just had to follow
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
They didn't really want us to learn anything.
We really weren't learning things. No.
No, we were just repeating
See,
what they told us.
we were being literally indoctrinated.
Mhm.
In other words, you listen and you put it in your head, and then we even want to hear you speak it. And then you got to do it. That's it. Questions? No. No questions. No questions. And if you have a question, our answers are the only acceptable answers. That's it.
Mhm.
You can't question the questions.
There you
No. Okay. Let's follow. Well, why do some follow rather than learn? Well, you could say it's easier. You could say that.
Mhm.
Now, I mean, it may be very, very difficult, though, because what you're asked to follow may be really difficult,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
It could be physically, emotionally, somehow challenging to follow. It's like I'm climbing up this mountain, you follow me. Okay, I'm going to follow. I never did it before, but I'm going to follow.
Right.
Oh, it's going to be so hard for you. But you're not learning a thing except for the fact that you've got to follow. And they're going to do that with other things. Even if it doesn't make sense,
Mhm.
right?
That's right.
Even if it doesn't make sense, you're going to follow. Because you're not going to question whether or not it makes sense. I just have to follow. Because you believe that that's the course of success for you. That's it. Following is success. On the other hand, there's the person that realizes, oh boy, there's so many questions I have. I need to determine which way to go. You took some notes about something before, and I'm wondering.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about a baby crawling, walking,
Yeah.
being in the womb. When does a baby first start to crawl? Usually between 6 months and 10 months before they walk.
Crawling before walking? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And
So-
then sometimes they start walking around a year old or maybe a little younger.
Okay, fair enough. And what? So they start to crawl. This is interesting. Baby could crawl either way. You've got a little more.
Yeah, sometimes they go forward, sometimes they go backward. I was watching our great niece, we were just talking about, but now she's in the walking stage. But when she was crawling, she could go forward, she could go backward.
In other words, they didn't quite understand the difference.
No.
No, that's interesting. Now, with crawling, but now comes a point. A person wants the child, whatever they are, a toddler. They want to get up on their feet, upright.
Yeah, they see everyone else standing up, right?
Right, and they're going to see them walking, and they're going to see them walking forward. It's kind of a silly statement.
Wild walk.
Go ahead.
I still crawl every now and then.
Oh.
Depends on how much I've had to
That's
drink.
what I figured. That's what I figured. Yeah.
Okay, sorry to interrupt. Okay, so they go forward or backward, crawling.
Yeah, forward or backward. So pay attention to that, Wild. So if they're going to walk, in most cases, they're always going to walk in which direction?
Forward, usually.
It's the direction their feet point,
Right.
and that they see others doing. And this is interesting too. The parents are going to encourage them. Come to me, walk forward. Okay, you're doing good.
Yeah.
See it walking forward.
Usually the parents hold out their hands.
Mhm.
Come, come,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and they do. They go
so
right
they're
to the
going to
parent.
walk forward. Fabulous, fabulous. Well, that's good. That's good. But now, who's going to direct where they go? Who's going to direct their steps? Oh, I know that there's interesting information in the Bible says we're not even designed to direct our own steps. It's like, wow. Well, I guess that makes it clear. I'm supposed to ask somebody. So which way should I go? Do you suppose that's a good idea? I can't direct my own steps. Sorry, I've got feet, I've got legs, I've got a mind, but I can't direct my own steps. Yeah, makes sense? I'm going to let someone else tell me. Who are they going to be? Someone else who has legs and feet and a mind? Well, does that mean they're letting someone else direct them? Well, I guess that's supposedly the idea. But what's proven out to be is that if you let someone direct your own steps, you're a follower. You're a follower. You're not a learner. You don't have to learn a thing. All you have to do is look and follow. That's it. See, so in that respect, you don't even need a brain. You don't need a brain. You can just be attached to them, or somehow you can just visually connect, and where they walk, you walk, they stop, you stop. And that's it. You never deviate. You never go in different directions. You never go the direction that you might want to go. And so you're going to go where they want you to go. If you're a follower, you're not going to go where you want to go. Mm-mm. You're going to go where they think you should go, and where you think you should go. You're convinced. I'll follow them anyway. No matter. Don't even have to think about it. And see, that's part of the motivation for the person who follows. I don't even have to think.
Mm-hmm.
I've avoided all the responsibility and the consequences of me making a decision. And it's all going to be on them, and it's going to be good for me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is that true? Well, actually, no, it's not true, because we found out that so many places in religions and government, they march people right into war.
Mm-hmm.
Just follow your government, follow this, follow the religion, where are we going? To war. Or to get something that's not ours, or maybe there's some other catastrophic situation. Well, who do you have to blame at that point? Well, I guess you can blame the government, but they're not going to be responsible. They said, oh, look, you decided to follow. That's your problem. You decided to follow. That's your problem. That's really interesting, because, and this is kind of a side note, that's the same thing that's going on with the internet, and it has been. As long as the internet's been out there, with ones like Google providers, and before Google there was AOL, and then whoever, Yahoo, whatever. In these systems that you have, you can have the system, you can use this powerful system we have, but we've got a list of requirements that you've got to agree to. And honest, I think they're like 20, 30 page long list of things that you have to agree to. Have you ever tried reading all those things?
Nope.
I have. And it's like, I'm done. I can't keep reading this. I don't even know what it means. If I think I know what it means, I'm just getting overblown in situations.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, well, you're not going to use the stupid system if you don't agree. Oh,
I like what Happy Thought said. A child needs guidance, as do some older ones. Guidance to learn, but also importantly, guidance how to think for themselves.
Well, yeah, I guess you don't want to take too long before you learn that, how to think for yourself. Well, what do I have to think for myself for? Because no one else is going to be responsible for you. No one, when you run into a wall and you say, well, how come somebody didn't tell me it was right in front of me? Well, the question becomes, well, why didn't you look? You are responsible. You have feet, you have eyes, you have a mind. See, that's what it's for. It's for determining all these things. I mean, this is so basic, it's not funny. The point with the internet thing is we can't use this thing right here. And there are wonderful platforms and all their incredible apps and whatever that, we can't use them unless we agree. And you'll be shocked to know what you're agreeing to. And basically, in a nutshell, you're agreeing to becoming the slave. If you have something, you're agreeing to give it up. That's all. You're agreeing to things that, what do did I agree to that? Yeah, you agreed to that. Yep, you sure did. Why did I agree to that? Well, honestly, and this is where we needed to learn, but we didn't, that sometimes people speak the truth and we don't listen. And honestly, and I related it before and I'll say it again, for the Jehovah's Witnesses watchtower, Zion's watch, the second president clearly stated that religion is a snare, lures you in. Oh, I want that. Oh, that's what I want. It's right there. Boom. So you reach for it, and of course it traps you. That's what a snare is. You reach in, and at that point, gotcha. They either have what's called deadfalls or choking snares. Oh, they're terrible. They're all bad. They're all nasty. A snare and a racket. That means we're going to get you in, and then we're going to use you to make ill-gotten gains for us, not for you, for us. And then we're going to kick you aside because you were unfortunately dumb enough to agree. Oh, really? I'll vouch for myself. I was dumb enough to agree, and I heard the man say it too.
Yep.
I mean, at least I didn't hear the man.
We heard.
I read it, what he said
it,
in the literature. I heard it said in some of the reenactments. And yeah, it's what.
Of course, they changed it to say false religion is a snare and a racket. They had to make sure we knew that it was not. Jehovah's Witnesses.
Every other religion's false.
False religion.
True. Oh,
yep.
Okay. See how easy it is to satisfy somebody. See how easy it is to be satisfied when it's something you want. So, I'll follow anyone if they give me what I want. Wow. What if they want you? What if they want to exploit you? And they're just telling you that. Well, that's what they do. Why do they do that? Why do they do that? Because unfortunately, that's the way this arrangement is on this earth now. It just is. And if anyone tells you it's going to be different, I guess they could say anything they want.
Yeah.
I'm not disputing. If someone says, oh, it's going to turn around and it's going to be all cherry blossoms and beautiful things all day. No more bad people. You don't even have to lock your doors. Heck, it's, oh, really? That's what I want. See, you got to be careful what you want. It's like, is that a good thing to want? Somebody could teach you something that you desire. I desire that. I want to acquire that. See, if you desire it, you want to get it. somebody's going to see that and say, "Oh, good. I'm glad you want to acquire it."
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the weakness. That's our weakness. They're going to say, "Oh, you can get that. All you have to do is fulfill these requirements." Oh, it's kind of like a terrible threesome. You desire, you want to acquire, and then they require. And that leads to, I'll obey, I'll get it, and I'll fulfill the requirements. What is it a good idea? Well, they promised me. They promised me. Okay, your mommy promised you ice cream after dinner if you ate your peas. Well, okay, I hope she's not lying. She could have just been saying it. Figured you'll fit. No, in all likelihood, she was being honest with you. Why? Because she loves you. In most cases, a mother's not going to lie. But you know what? You can probably give me stories about how your mother lied to you.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be responsible for that. But see, the point is, you're going to be faced with lies. Somebody's going to want to exploit you. And you need to learn what that means.
Mm-hmm.
You really do. Safest place you ever were, I think, was inside your mother's womb. I think that was the safest place you could ever be.
Mm-hmm.
I think, usually.
Usually.
Unless, of course, your mother was an alcoholic,
Right.
drug addict,
Right.
God knows
Yeah, there's
what.
exceptions,
Okay.
but most of the time.
The
Yeah.
point is this: you're not gonna avoid abuse or exploitation or harm or disaster. You're not going to. We're not going to, unless we learn and observe and respond accurately and carefully. The only way you can do it is by learning, not by listening to people. Oh, you can listen to people, but then you have to confirm what they say is true or not. Confirm. Oh, that's so difficult. How can I confirm it? I'll just go on what they say. It'll be so much easier. Yeah, that's exactly what they want you to say. And then they got you. They got you. They want you. See, you have energy. They want your energy.
Mm-hmm.
You have thinking ability. You have words that you can use. They want to put their words in your mouth, in your mind. Why? Because then they can get more. That's just the way it is. If you're a follower, that's what you'll do. Followers listen, obey, and whatever happens to them. Whereas someone who learns,
Mm-hmm.
this is going to compare and contrast to the person that was at the door when we were out in things called field service. We went knocking door to door, for those that don't know.
Can they hear you?
And we presented literature to the customer, whatever
Householder.
whatever they were, and they looked and they thought and they listened, and they were using critical thinking, and they said no, thank you, no. If they were polite, they said, "Oh, I didn't mean to be disrespectful, but we've got our own religion, we're all set. Thank you. You have a nice day." Oh, but, door closes. They were learning. They learned. It didn't take too long for them to learn either, because they relied on something. They relied on their thinking ability. They weren't tricked or snared by promises that they knew they couldn't have. They knew they couldn't. There's some of you will know the movie, Flim Flam Man. I'm not sure. The man said he was an art. He was a flim flam artist. Someone tries to trick you into a game that you can win something. All you have to do is watch and spot what he did. And he told another person who was trying to learn, a young person who was interested in being just like that.
That was the movie, the Flim Flam Man.
Flim Flam Man,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And he said, you can't scam an honest man. In other words, if a person wanted something that wasn't theirs, that they didn't work for, that wasn't theirs, they weren't being really honest, because they said, I can have it. I want it. They're greedy. They're greedy, and this person's tricking them into having it through this game. And they're being totally taken advantage of. And it's all because they're greedy. Because the person could easily have said, no, no thanks. Not interested. Not interested. If I need something, I'll work for it. Got my own. I'll get my own.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that what you're doing is fair.
Mm-hmm.
I've determined that. I've judged that. I'll rely on it myself. I'm not going to follow you into this trick. And thankfully, so many people didn't follow people into Jehovah's Witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
We know many who grew up in a family, but they didn't get baptized.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why didn't they follow?
Because they knew that, well, first of all, they didn't believe it, number one. They didn't believe it. And they just didn't want to, they wanted to live their own life. They saw what it would mean. If they became baptized, they'd have to follow, they'd have to do things that they didn't want to do or that they didn't believe in.
Right.
So they never got baptized.
Mm-hmm. So it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean a lot of things. The point is they didn't want to follow according to their requirements for whatever reason. That was their choice. Their choice. They must have learned something and discerned the proper course was nope, not gonna. Whereas others said, I'm not going to be blessed unless I follow. It's in their mind. I'm not going to have my family unless I follow. Maybe that was one of the motivations. They didn't want to be eliminated from their family. It could have been, which is such a nasty, nasty snare.
Yep.
Very nasty snare.
Willie B said, I wish I had been one of them.
Of course.
Yep.
Of course. And we wish so too. So now people coming out, and many are. In other words, they've learned a little late, but better late than never, that, this place is nowheresville. This is not the place that I should have given my life to.
Peps 1975 said, do you think we were weak when we got involved with Jehovah's Witnesses? Do you think it was a matter of weakness?
Don't know.
I
You'll know.
think for each person it's different because, were you lonely? Were you looking for a group? Did you believe in the resurrection? You wanted to see your dead loved ones? Did you not want to grow old and die? I think everybody's different, and something what appealed to you was different what appealed to me.
I agree. See, there are different motivations for it. And there's some different sites that you're going to see that deal with exactly this. Now, there's the nature, the types of people that were attracted to Jehovah's Witnesses. And yeah, they're the ones that crave involvement because, man, I'm on my own. I got no one to support me.
Mm-hmm.
And these people, oh my goodness, they're opening their arms to me. No one else does that.
Right.
Well, the witnesses know that. Well, why are they doing that?
It's called love bombing.
Yeah, because they know you're a warm body and they want to use you. That's why. You think it's because they love you, but no, because you're a warm body and they're going to know how to use you. Number one. So some were in need, no question. Well, is it a weakness to be in need? No, absolutely not.
It's a genuine need.
Absolutely, everyone has needs like that. Everyone does. The problem was the motives of that organization to take advantage of weakness. Okay, so I should have known better. Well, unquestionably, it would have been a good idea if you knew better. You can't deny that at all. You can't deny that at all. The person knows what their needs were, and if they're that in need, desperate, it's a self, it's a survival motivation. I've got to survive. I won't survive without them. That's what they've come to understand. That's the snare of it all. For a real snare for trappers, animal trappers.
Oh, we just got the 700. We got the 700th subscriber. Thank you.
No gifts, but thank you.
Thank you.
Animal trappers literally present what the animal wants that would be good for them. Bait. It's their food. In most cases, they provide something that the animal's looking for, and they lure them right into that snare. So, why'd the animal do that? Unfortunately, because the trapper knew exactly what the animal was looking for, exactly where they were going to go for it. And unfortunately, the animal trapper doesn't care about a happy life for that critter. No. They simply know how to, want to, and will exploit them. They will. That's it. That's what a trapper is. People set snares. Religion. Rutherford said that. He wasn't lying. In fact, he wasn't the only one that said that. The Russell guy, he knew too. He knew
They
as
all
well.
did.
They all did. When they got together with their buddies, smoking and drinking, whatever they did, they were all laughing about people are so blah 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 with religion. You know, this is how you make money. He says, yeah. If you're smart, that's what you can do. You're gonna start a religion. Yeah, there are millions of people that they'll give you their money. Why? Why did they do that? Well, for the same reason that the beaver was looking for something and got his nice little paw caught in a trap. It's not because he wanted to get his paw caught in a trap. It's because he was simply looking for something, and there was a very unloving force, people, situation that would take advantage of that. Oh my God. I was better off in the womb. Well, that's true. We probably were. Yeah, probably were. But you're not in the womb anymore. So from the minute you stepped out or were put out, I don't think you stepped out.
But you pushed out.
Boom. There became the need to, you better watch out. You better watch out. And that's where learning becomes so necessary. Now you're out of this organization that was taking advantage of you. Oh, well, that's great. Now we're in the safe world. No, dear, no. Unfortunately, the reason why there's law enforcement and court systems is because people are always doing something illegal to others. It's not very nice, but that's the truth. So you got nothing better to do. I've got nothing better to do than to learn and to compare notes with each other and to be open-minded and to do everything we can to watch out. Vigilant, right? To be vigilant.
Do you want to go to the video?
Yeah.
We've got a short video. Shauna, when you're ready.
See what you think about it.
It's actually the lyrics to a song, and you're going to recognize the song. We're not going to tell you.
Where do you want to go? You got feet, you have legs, you have a mind. Where do you want to go with your life? How will you get there?
Yeah.
And it's something to think about. Is there music to it too?
No.
Upon buying the legendary 1971 Led Zeppelin 4 record, fans excitedly opened up the sleeve only to be confronted with an image of an old man on a hilltop holding up a lantern. That man is, in fact, an archetype from the ancient occult practice of tarot known as the Hermit. Numbered as the 9th card in the major arcana, that is, the first 22 cards of the tarot which outline the soul's journey from ignorance to enlightenment, the Hermit is representative not only of solitude and wisdom, but even more specifically, he represents spiritual evolution, introspection, and inner guidance, that is, spiritual intuition. No stranger to the esoteric mysteries himself, Jimmy Page, Led Zeppelin's guitar player and main songwriter, echoed this very sentiment in many interviews while explaining why this character was chosen to grace the inside of Zeppelin's album, once stating, for example, "The Hermit is a symbol of the search for truth and knowledge. It's about the inner journey and spiritual enlightenment. We wanted the album to reflect a deeper, more mystical side of our music, and The Hermit perfectly captured that essence." So let's keep that in mind, as it truly is the key to unlocking the meaning behind the most famous song on that record. In fact, quite possibly the most famous song of the 20th century, the monumentally successful masterpiece known as Stairway to Heaven. Now, it would be hard to argue with the assertion that no other rock lyrics have been debated as to their true meaning more than Stairways have. They're the ultimate in ambiguity. Even Robert Plant himself, the man who wrote the lyrics, has never really specified, line for line, what exact messages he was sending through his famous words. In fact, while he has said that they're about such things as being one with nature, spiritual transformation, enlightenment, and universal balance, he also readily admits that the words came to him as if channeled from the great beyond. "I was holding a pencil and paper," he'd once relate. "Then all of a sudden my hand was writing. I just sat there and looked at the words, and then I almost leapt out of my seat." Now, despite not having been given a clear line-by-line explanation as to Stairway to Heaven's meaning from its lyric writer, with a little understanding of the occult, spirituality, philosophy, and literature, most notably J.R.R. Tolkien, the very things the band is documented to have been into at the time, the code is easy enough to crack, as a clear message through a definite narrative does present itself when the lyrics are analyzed closely, and it's a deep one. To be precise, Stairway to Heaven is an allegorical poem illustrating the dichotomy between spiritualism and materialism, or the inward and the outward, the esoteric and the exoteric. And it does this by comparing two proposed paths to enlightenment, which, if you'll notice, is exactly what is meant by the phrase Stairway to Heaven. It is another way of saying path to enlightenment, or bridge to transcendence, or ladder to ascension, however you want to phrase it. One of the paths being the true path, and the other being the false path. Therefore, the poem focuses on two main characters. One, referred to simply as the lady, represents the false, external, materialistic path. The other main character is called the Piper, who, like the Hermit and Tarot, represents the internal, spiritual path to enlightenment, the true path. Now, the Piper, or more accurately, the tune he plays, represents our spiritual intuition. That tune is the inner vibration that we are to follow in order to reach heaven or enlightenment, just as the Hermit's lantern represents the inner light that intuitively guides us towards becoming our higher self, or, in other words, it guides us towards heaven. These two characters, the Hermit and the Piper, represent the same concept that Jimmy Page was talking about in the earlier quote, just through different allegories. The Piper and his tune are the personification of such ancient teachings as that of the Buddha, who said, "Look within, you are the Buddha," or "The Dharma is found within oneself," or as the Hindu Vedas say, "The serene being is not to be sought in the outer world, but within the heart," or as the New Testament depicts Jesus as saying, Neither shall they say, Lo here, or Lo there, for behold, the kingdom of God is within you. Now, I could go on for days because these lessons and the common message that they share, a message which spans centuries and cultures around the globe, is the same message being put forth in Stairway to Heaven. It is, in a nutshell, telling the reader or listener that heaven is only found through the spiritual transformation that occurs when following your inner path. A good way to look at the concept that Robert is putting forward in following the Piper's tune is to think about how a radio signal works. Right now, in the very room that you're sitting in, or wherever you are, there are radio signals all around you that you can't see, hear, or touch, but they're there. Now, if you get a radio and start turning the dial, you'll start to tune into different frequency bands, and the music being broadcast on those frequencies will play through the speaker, letting you hear them in the physical world. Well, think of the Piper's tune as the ultimate band of frequency, the divine frequency which permeates throughout the entire universe, one which, if you inwardly work hard enough, you can tune your consciousness into. That's what Robert means, as we shall see in a second, when he talks about following the Piper's tune. Now, additionally, apart from the individualistic standpoint, yet completely attached to it, there is a message being put forward in Stairway to Heaven that the modern world of the time the song was written, and even more so now, actually, modern culture is on a very dangerous path. The lyrics warn that we, mankind, are forgetting our place within nature and are instead separating ourselves from it, and thus becoming a threat to ourselves and all that exists around us. Again, the remedy being put forth to fix this dilemma is for all to tune into the inner vibration of the spirit, represented, as we just went over, by the tune of the Piper and Stairway's lyrics. Through doing so, mankind will once again connect to the flow of nature. We will be brought back into oneness. And this, again, according to the message of the lyrics, can only be done by each individual that makes up the whole following their inner path. However, the song starts by detailing the opposition to that path. That is, it begins by detailing the materialistic path in the form of the lady, as Robert writes. There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a stairway to heaven. When she gets there, she knows if the stores are all closed, with a word she can get what she came for, and she's buying a stairway to heaven. So then, right off the bat, we see this lady is a woman of means, a woman of wealth, a woman who gets what she wants through that wealth, as even if the stores are closed, she can get what she seeks. We're told that she believes that all that glitters is gold. That is to say, in her opinion, value comes through materialistic appearances. Basically, an object's intrinsic worth is measured by how shiny it is. As stated before, and as should be apparent through these opening lines, the lady represents the erroneous materialistic path to enlightenment, proven through the statement that she is of the belief that she can buy a stairway to heaven. There's a sign on the wall, the lyrics continue, but she wants to be sure, 'cause sometimes words have two meanings. In a tree by the brook, there's a songbird who sings, sometimes all of our thoughts are misgiven. Like the rest of the lyrics, there are a few things to be taken away from these lines. First of all, the sign on the wall is likely a reference to the common phrase about reading the writing on the wall, which comes in several variations, but generally refers to being able to see the truth of a situation, and in many cases, the repercussions that situation is likely to bring with it. This saying finds its roots in the Old Testament's book of Daniel, chapter 5, where a mysterious message appears on the wall in front of the Babylonian king Belshazzar. And so he calls in all of his seers and prophets and enchanters to decode it, but none of them can. That is, until the Hebrew prophet Daniel arrives and becomes the only one who can read the writing on the wall and interprets a warning of danger, hence the famous phrase. In this verse in Stairway to Heaven, the lady believes the writing on the wall says that she can buy her way into paradise. She thinks she can buy her stairway to heaven. But as Robert Plant tells us, she is mistaken. The words she believes she has interpreted actually have a different meaning altogether. In other words, she can't read the writing on the wall. She can't see the truth of the situation, and she is headed for danger. We are then brought to the first scene representing nature, where we meet a songbird in a tree who solidifies this notion when he sings that sometimes
Oh, okay. Thank you, Shauna.
Popular song. I know many people are familiar with it.
Yep, the link to the video is here. You can
Yeah.
finish watching
Oh yeah,
it on
and
your own.
there's a lot in there. There really
Mhm.
is. No, we were introduced to that song when we were
I
10.
think it was 1971. So
Okay,
we were in
20.
college.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Older.
yeah. I'm pretty sure I looked it up.
Goes way back. Goes way back. And so, I mean, there's so many references in there to the things that are called the esoterics and the Hermetic teachings and the Gnostics, ancient wisdom, Bible. There's so much in there.
Yeah.
References to all those things.
1971. Yeah.
So the question becomes, if someone tells you exactly what that means for you, or what you should, are you going to follow them in what that all says? Because it's like, well, I didn't write it, and just tell me what it means, and I'll do what you say. Well, some places say, well, you shouldn't even be listening to that, or whatever, or whatever. Or you're going to learn from that. Well, how am I going to learn from that? How you learn from that?
Well, you have to listen to it. And if it resonates with you, if there's something in it that you pick out, like, for example, maybe you don't want to be a materialistic person. Maybe you want to be more a thinker, a spiritual person. We do need some things, we do need some physical things. We need food and air and a place to live and, things like that. But do we concentrate just on the physical, or do we want to be more spiritual, more, enlightened, more helpful,
Balance.
more loving? Yeah.
Balance, because we are physical.
Yeah.
I mean, I need what I physically need, what I physically need. Question becomes, well, how much? Well, some say millions and billions and billions. In fact, I'm going to control all of those things. Okay, if that's what someone wants. On the other hand, someone's going to say, I don't want any part of the material. I'm going to be a total hermit. Total. I'm going to barely survive alone. And I'll worry about what happens, because that material is, it wars against the physical, the spiritual. Well, that's their view. I'm seeing, so how do you feel about it?
Villages. We can add villages. A pasta dude is on.
Hello, pasta dude.
Hey, long time not call in. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, and I'm glad.
I'm driving home, and
Whoa.
I just had to chime in. In 1968, I saw Led Zeppelin live and in person.
Did you? I
And-
knew someone
Yeah,
who
yeah.
had. That's great.
And just to be sure that, Sister or Mrs. the Pasta Dude also saw. Actually, that 4 album was released in October of '72.
Wow.
And because I played it as we drove off to our honeymoon.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, crazy as that sounds. But anyway, Jimmy Page was deep into the occult.
Yeah.
And he actually lived or bought a house that used to be owned and lived in by Aleister Crowley.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's just like when I talk about numerology, people go, oh, wow, what pasta do? What's happened? And it's like, wait a minute. It's important to know about numerology because the people that are destroying the planet we live on,
Mm-hmm.
they live by numerology. And if you don't know
Yeah.
how they're doing it and what they're doing.
Yeah. War
So
by
yeah,
memory.
yeah. So if you don't run your own life, there is nothing out there that you should be trusting.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what you guys bring out a lot. And so yeah, I mean, there's a lot to that song. Robert Plant's mother was Roma, i.e., a gypsy lady, and Jimmy Page made early decisions about the band after he saw a palm reader in L.A. So they're very interesting. He's actually, Jimmy Page, he was in the Yardbirds, and then
It's cute.
he wanted to continue the new Yardbirds with this band, and I think Keith Moon, of all people, from the Who, brought the name out. Why don't you you're going to go over like a Led Zeppelin. So they got stuck. But they're very, very interesting to study because remember, Robert Plant, they had strange things happen to him. Robert Plant had a child die, just suddenly got sick and died.
Wow.
And he left the United States tour to go back home after that happened. And then, of course, when the drummer died, who was his very good friend, they were brought in together. John Bonham, when he died, Robert just didn't see how we could go on because he was so important to the band. So, yeah, that's a fascinating subject as well. And the nature of that song and how he wrote it. I mean, many of these artists, they get into the muse, as they call it.
Yeah.
And it's similar to automatic writing. And there's things that are in the occult that are as valid to know about. Yeah, don't obey anything.
Yeah.
But it's affecting stuff around you. And the psychology that's breaking the world apart is too many people not thinking for themselves. You know? So if you don't lead, you follow. But anyway, you know me, I'll consume your time too much. That's why I kind of hang back.
No. Appreciate the contribution. And this is where, we can deal with more information than we think. And everybody can deal with a different amount of information. We're different like that. Like everybody can carry a different load on their back comfortably. It's the same thing with a load of information. So the point is, are we willing to, or do we have the attitude that I shouldn't? It's unsafe. And this is where, we the different things like this, the lyrics to the Stairway of Heaven, what Crowley and those guys were into, what it means for us, where we, and we won't be able to make a good decision unless we consider it. It has to be considered.
Well, what's happening now is massive shock with the Epstein stuff. I mean, to know these world leaders, the kind of unbelievable darkness that they're involved in, and I do believe it's true. There are some people out there saying that's another psyop, and don't ever I'm open to that, but right now, I'm sorry to tell you, I've already known for a long time. And if you don't think the Enochian magic isn't in the Watchtower, get another.
Right.
It's like, man. So, but people got to be. It's a courage thing, Joe. People have to be not afraid of the truth. Yeah. And sometimes it's very troubling, but you're not going to get around it.
Look, it has to be handled. It's like, I don't know what this kind of, some would say you can't be afraid of changing diapers for, a number of different reasons. But, I don't want to do that. It's whatever. Let's say a person said, I can't handle diapers. Well, that's the way some people feel about information and knowledge that challenges them. I can't handle that. It's too much of a stress on my psyche. It burdens me too much. It makes me unhappy. Well, then they can't handle the truth, literally. They literally cannot handle the truth. They will be the ones that follow. They will follow. Thank you so much.
It's default. They default following. And
Yeah.
and sometimes it's a function of how busy and stressed out you are to start
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
So there is something to that. I mean, I learned more since I retired. I'm a retired guy.
Yeah.
And man, when you have the time, you can sort it out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as I do it, I think, man, I can see why people back off of this stuff. Like,
Well,
for
look.
example, Joe, I'd like to get back to you on another time when I'm ready, because I'm driving home here, on this Zionist question. I
Oh,
got
yeah.
some more. I got some deeper stuff to that. That's very
Oh,
interesting.
you mean Zion's Watchtower? Ah.
Oh yeah, but just keep
Yeah.
in mind that everything's a head fake. Everything, and
Yeah.
in fact, there's something to the Zion movement, but I think there's something bigger behind it.
Totally agree. Oh, I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. Well, yeah, do get back to us. Call us whenever it's good for you.
Yeah, thanks for calling
Yeah.
in.
Oh yeah. I'll try to not disrupt too much, but
You're
No,
not
you're not.
interrupting
You're not.
anything.
They're not. Thank
Love
you.
you.
Love you. We
You
want to
bet.
say hello to. We want to
See ya.
say hello to Gail.
Hello, Gail.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi. Apostle, don't go away. Is he leaving?
all right.
No,
No, I'm
he's
here.
He's here.
I grew up in the 60s. I saw Led Zeppelin twice.
Oh,
And everything Apostle said is correct. I don't know what this has to do with us XJW community. This is the occult, plain and simple. Jimmy Page is probably the best guitarist I've ever seen in my lifetime. But he was in the occult, and like Apostle Dude said, a lot of bad things happened to them. And I just watched him in an interview a year ago. He said he wishes he'd never get into it. He actually bought Aleister Crowley's Scotland mansion, and they had a lot of demon problems. The place burnt down. There were seances, so he moved out of there because of all the stuff that was happening. As a matter of fact, Led Zeppelin's name came from, are you ready? Hitler used to do his rallies on a field called Zeppelin Field, and that's where they got the name Zeppelin from.
oh.
So Aleister Crowley is one of the most evilest men that ever walked the earth. He worshiped demons. He had a seance before he died. He was a very evil man, and I don't want anything to do with him. And those tarot cards were Crowley's tarot cards that they used.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want anything to do with the occult. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was in the occult. I really don't want to. I loved Led Zeppelin, but I'll tell you what I did. I threw all their albums away because I don't want the demons in my house.
I hear you.
Overdosed. His son died. They went off a cliff. Jimmy Page wasn't able to write any more music, and you can listen to his documentary yourself. He says that he wasn't able to write any more lyrics after they indulged in the occult, and they admitted that they did. So, but
Well, so just compare that same circumstance with any of us who got involved with Watchtower because we were attracted to its power, its wealth, we're attracted to its rewards, just like those guys. They were attracted to wealth, power, and rewards.
Yeah.
And look at the cautionary tale there. You
So,
get burned
yeah.
for it.
We
They
have
got
to-
burned. We got burned.
We have to be careful what we're attracted to.
And you're going to be attracted.
of course,
This
you
is
don't
the-
want to attract the demons in your house. That's why
No,
they had all kinds of problems. Did you ever watch the series I Sold My Soul to the Devil and see what happened to all these people who did?
No.
No.
Yeah, watch it. It'll raise the hair on your arms.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these rock musicians, now they have all these signs. They got the devil horns. They got this. They got this.
Well,
They're
here's
all-
a good question.
They're all giving
Here's a-
signs to the demons. And
Well,
yet
here's
and whether you
okay.
believe this or not, because I know you're not into religion anymore, but Satan runs the show. We're dealing with good versus evil. And
Okay.
Satan is very powerful, and he's everywhere, and especially in the music industry. I'm just
Okay.
saying, 'cause I don't want anything to do with demonism and the occult.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, guy. I get that. I understand. It's clear. That truly is. There's clarity with that. There is. Well, now, can you say? I like your copper cup. Can you say? Can you say that other things that you are involved in are devoid of any of that influence?
I'll tell you something about me. I'm very sensitive to the demons.
Good.
And if I have something in my house, it's going to affect me. I'll get nightmares. I get
Great.
sick to my stomach. So I know I have to go searching in my home to see what I brought in or see what, mostly it's something I brought in or something someone's given to me. So
I get it.
I've
So the
had
hermit-
my encounters.
Well, here's the extreme of that. The hermit says it's all under their control. I'm out of her.
Yes.
I'm out of
Yes.
her completely. See, the hermit might look at you and say, "Oh, you don't see what is around you." You
Well, I'm
don't see what
protected by God, so
Well,
I'm
that's
not
good.
worried about it.
See, I understand. The point, I'm not getting into what I'm saying is everyone has a level, a degree, and we know that degree when we listen to ourselves. See, you're not listening. I'm not listening to you. You're not listening to me about that. You are listening to yourself, and that's your kingdom. That's your right. And see, the witnesses who were in and who are in now don't do that. They don't listen to themselves. They lay in bed at night and they're quiet and silent in their thoughts, and they realize, oh, I shouldn't think that because it's not what Jehovah thinks. Oh, I shouldn't think that because the governing body, blah, 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 blah. And they reject their intuition. They reject what Jesus would have said is their kingdom. It's your kingdom. You're rejecting. And see, that's where the shortcoming is. And yeah, I agree. There's a lot of stuff that's nasty out there.
Yeah, there is.
Sex and drugs and rock and roll and music and Hollywood. And I totally agree with you. Totally agree.
Yeah, and we're not promoting it just because we just put information out there.
They're watching Hollywood.
What's that? Someone say something?
I thought they did too.
Well,
Someone's
Maybe
echoing
they-
somewhere.
Hello.
You're a pasta dude. The pasta dude's wife was talking to me for a second. And
Oh.
That's okay.
You can't do that when you're on the air. All right.
It's okay. Oh, dear. Look, it's a beautiful world out there, but there are ugly things in it. And this is where knowledge helps us to identify them. This is where clarity helps us to understand where we personally fit into it. We were given that ability. And not when but some people think the easy way out is to just follow the piper.
Follow the crowd.
See, the Jehovah's Witnesses following the piper, because the piper is going to tell me everything I need to hear. No, he's not. They're going to lead you. They're going to lead you in directions you really realize you shouldn't go. You shouldn't go. But sometimes they say too old, too soon, too smart, too late.
Remember the Bob Dylan interview?
Yeah.
And Bob Dylan on 60 Minutes,
Yes,
he pointed
that's
out,
right. Mhm.
see, in order to get to the top of anything, and think of all the great bands you saw there that don't have any reputation, nothing. And I've seen a lot. That you got to go through the gatekeepers. Now, by the way, I was in the same congregation when Larry Graham started studying. And Larry Graham went from Sly, who really, Sly got into occult also. Well-known fact, it was spooking everybody.
Yeah, Pastor,
Sly
did you
and the
talk
Family
about-
Stone.
Thank you. Okay, for those listeners that don't know. Okay. Yep. You
Sly
were
and
in
the
the same
Family Stone.
congregation. Okay.
Yeah. And he got into that, so there was a problem. Larry got into conflict, and he did that. And then he started studying. And he did a concert in California, an area in California he used to live in, that he was the undercard to the Temptations on a Saturday night. The next day, one of the Temptations is sitting behind me, answering at the meeting. And he wasn't baptized or anything, but he knew about the witness stuff.
That's why.
He even said something about 1975 in a comedy. He raised his hand. It was kind of funny. But the point is that there's gatekeepers. It's a soul issue. We want your soul. And when you're a young person, like say maybe Prince who wrote a song, I Would Die For You. You is the 21st letter in gematria in the basic cipher. So he wrote it for number U. The U is what he wrote, not Y-O-U. And well, lo and behold, Prince dies on 4/21/2016, on the birthday of the Queen. You have to understand how much ritual is going on. Will blow your mind. Every day, every time somebody dies, I mean, if they're well known, who died just the other day? Was that actress in the Home Alone? That's a total ritual. I mean, I could go on and on about this stuff, but you got to look into it. And what Joe's saying is, if you don't know what's sneaking up on you,
That's right.
you don't have to dive into the occult. But I'm sorry to tell you, it's all around you.
It's all around. Okay, I'm going to throw something out there. So, and I'm not making any value judgment on it. Where does politics fit into this? Where does government fit in?
Oh, there
My
you go.
goodness.
Politics.
Okay, let me throw some at you. Okay, this is just a primer. I could go on and on about this.
Go.
Gavin Newsom went to Santa Clara University, Jesuit. Donald Trump went to Fordham, Jesuit. Anthony Fauci went to Xavier, Jesuit. Klaus Schwab is a Jesuit. I mean, 6 out of the 9 Supreme Courts guys are Jesuit educated. Believe me, all roads lead to Rome, and Rome is demonic and evil as it gets, and it's got tentacles into the roots of this world we live in, so deep, it's terrifying.
Okay, so I'm going to throw out a little more complications here. The person Paul, some called him the Apostle Paul. He's the fellow that spoke so much about something, but he never saw it. He never saw Jesus, but he's the biggest mouth about him. And here he was a Roman citizen, which he was pretty proud of and pretty pleased about, plus a Jew. And so he has access to the emperor and comes down to it that they came up with a really interesting religion for the empire. It was called Christianity. And they made their brand Catholic. They called it Catholic because Catholic means universal. In other words, this will catch everybody. We want to catch everybody. They like this guy, Jesus. They like what he says. He wins some words. We resonate with him. Great. I think we got something going here. Let's make a religion about this guy. We'll call it Christianity. Well, they called it Catholicism, only because that was their words at the time. But because it would be a universally accepted control for the people. And needless to say, if you didn't accept it, they would torture you in the basement of the church just to convince you that it would be in your best interest to do this. That was their play at religion, at Christianity. So the question becomes, so where does that fit in with goodness? You know, and everybody has some feelings about that and judgment about it. And it truly is up to each individual where they fit in with that. And Paul was an absolute gatekeeper. He had the keys to the gate, and he had the keys to the emperor's rooms. And this is where religion crept in. And so now, what do you do? Who do you believe now? Who do you see? We're asked at times when we get into a discussion, they realize, oh, you're spiritual, yeah. Well, who do you follow? Or what religion do you have? Or and I say, we don't follow any religion. And I said, if anything, Jesus gave some great principles, and he basically blasted religions. And so I would say we follow Jesus out of religion. and that's it. And as far as any principles, he spoke some great principles that are ages old before him. Those principles were not first through him. He just was one of the later prophets that spoke about those principles. So, there's so much good information out there, and the more information you have, the more settled, your mind can be on where you stand on it.
But can you see this, Joe? What I believe is true. I think there's a how the work week has hump day, Wednesday, right? You climb to that, and then you look forward to the weekend. I think I'm on the other side of the hump, but I'm not absolutely sure of that. But I'm comfortable, and there is a problem getting comfortable with the actual reality of what's going on in history and the current world we're living in. The current world we're living in is amazing what actually is going on.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you, I agree. I mean, the one prophet, I think it was Daniel, who did say, and the time many will rove about, and the true knowledge will become abundant. Well, let me tell you, I think there's an abundance of information out there right now at our access on the internet. And honestly, I don't think it's going to be there forever, but it's there right now. And this is the challenge to people who have been told other things. Like you said, getting comfortable. Let's say a person says, well, I'm comfortable with my beliefs. I'm comfortable, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you may be comfortable, but there may be information that when you see it, it may move you to a different thought. It may. And that's where I tell people, look, if you're comfortable with your religion and your faith, don't do any more research. Do not do any more research.
That's true.
Well, the organization was horrible because they didn't want you researching and looking up other stuff. They didn't want you to have that knowledge.
No.
They wanted you to stay in with them, and they didn't want you to explore other alternatives. And that's one thing about them I really dislike now that I know what they're all about. Because now I'm learning more now than I ever have, to be honest with you.
And it's there. And what I will say too, if you like the internet because the amount of information, that's going to change. There's information now that is different than it was previously. They curate it. They kind of twist it around because they didn't want people to know what was on it. A total difference. And anytime they want, they can shut the internet down.
Yep.
And then it'll come back. But it's like, oh my goodness, how come it's so different? And you're not going to have the information out there. They're watching, they're listening to everything we do and say and listen to. They're watching.
You're absolutely correct. I just found out today. I watched this the Prepper Couple Off the Grid with Doug and Stacy. They just got sued for something that they had on their show that he talked about. Sean Ryan got sued too because he brought up the child abuse that was going on in that child daycare center in Missouri, and he got a letter. They sued him, but he said he wasn't going to back down on what he said on his podcast. Yeah. But he's waiting to see what the lawyers are going to do next. But I guess they're going after a lot of people on what they're saying. I guess this is trying to squash our freedom of speech.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. If I could just, I'm looking at the chat. Skylar Mendez Mosley says, aren't we supporting a shared goal of figuring out what truth is, whatever that may be? Well, what is truth?
I don't know.
Paul Kohler said, what is truth? Yeah. Okay. I know you got something to say about
truth that. Is, look, when I talk to you and you talk to me, and if I'm lying to you, I'm not being truthful. If I tell you the truth, this is how I feel, this is what I see, that's truth. But if I hide it, if I twist it before I tell you, I'm not being truthful. Now, am I going to look for that I don't think truth is something you look for. I think truth is something you present. You present it. Otherwise, you're a liar. Because really, I mean, you want to think about this. There are people that came into that Watchtower organization seeking truth. They proceed to learn everything that the Watchtower is teaching them, proven to be false, but yet they continue to hold it and to speak.
Good
Guess
point.
what? They came for
point.
truth. They end up loving lies. So the question becomes, what is
Right.
that truth? No. Well,
I like what Rich says. I believe there is our individual truth,
Yeah.
but none of us knows what absolute truth really is. If anyone wants to come on the program, the link is at the top of the chat. We'd love to
I'm
have
going
you.
to say one more thing before someone can. There are prophets of old. When I say prophets of old, I'm talking about authors of the classics, the old books that maybe some of us haven't read, like the Iliad and the Odyssey, and Dante's Inferno, and so many other books that are deep, rich books. Those guys literally were prophets, because what they did, they were through stories, rich stories, they were teaching people what it meant to be human. They weren't telling people about dates and times, about Armageddon's coming in 1913 or whatever. They weren't. No, that's not what a prophet is. Someone who tells you what's true about who you. That's what a prophet is. Someone who tells, and you can shake your head and say, "Yeah, now I see how to go forward with that." See, that's true prophecy, because it literally awakens you to you. That's a prophecy. The Watchtower came out and they distorted the use of prophecy and said, we're going to tell you when these things are going to happen. And that's not true prophecy. It has nothing to do with dates and time. Even Jesus said, it's not for you to know the dates and times. He even said that. And here they make kids out of themselves being time prophets. Oh God! Just like Rutherford said, religion's a snare and a scam. And here, let me prove it to you. And he proves it to everybody. Oh, it's
so then while you're trying to grow, and truth may start with consciousness, but while you're trying to grow, the consequence of fear is injected into the claim of truth, which is highly manipulative. So I have thrown this out before, I think, on some calls a few times back, but this is where I kind of land for the time being. Think about this. First of all, you got hellfire, which is nonsense. And then now God's going to destroy people at Armageddon if they're not, that's wild. Now, my thing is this. Think about, and I'm still working through it, vigorously, which is to discern as much truth as I can. And I don't think I know it all. And so then, is a loving God going to make billions of people accountable for what bullies he's allowed to dominate this place? I mean, I love life. I believe in a creator. I just can't get away from it. Nature's so amazing. So, but these religious people are telling you this about God, which means that's not God to me. That's what I know. This judgment thing that makes no sense.
Yeah, I think they knew they had a period of time where they could manipulate and exploit people by telling lies and fear.
Right.
And the religious fear is wearing out. So many Christians are leaving Christianity. They're fed up with the fears and the lies, the Catholicism, and the witnesses. But there's one thing, unfortunately, that still does work. And that's, for the Watchtower and witnesses, the fear of losing their relationships. That's real. That's real stuff. And we're talking to people right now who are PMOs, physically in but mentally out. And this is where the challenge for them, as it was for us, is truthfulness. In other words, if a person's in but doesn't want to be and speaks the words of being in, where's the truth? In other words, their neighbor who's faithful, pioneer lady, whatever, looks at them and says, well, isn't it wonderful, the whatever that we have, and they're waiting for your response. What are you going to say? If you don't lie, you're going to lose your family. I get it.
Hello, Dallas.
Hi,
sorry.
Dallas.
Well, hi there.
Hi.
Hey,
And
Dallas.
how I posted, dude. I just love what you're hearing this side, and that's great that you love life,
Oh, yeah. No,
because I do
appreciate
too.
life.
And you want to do things and make the best of life, because you don't want to just be waiting for the afterlife like this is only our testing ground, because it ain't only our testing ground.
Right.
Yeah.
I just saw yesterday either Sanderson or Cook is now coming out to admit that we're not living in the end times right now.
Yeah.
I heard that too. I heard that too.
By the way.
They've bombed on everything else, so why not?
It never stops. You know,
It never stops. It's true. Instead of, it's more of that. Instead of I'm making all things new, we're making all doctrines new.
Making all doctrines new, right? Yeah.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, well,
And I can tell you that this story, you got quite a story about how it is all you're doing is running a hamster wheel, and that's why I don't call it the witch tale for nothing.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, for good reason, Dallas. Good reason. Real
Dallas,
good.
what did you? I'm sorry, Dallas. What did you say? I didn't hear you.
What does it?
What did you just say? I didn't hear you.
I don't call it the witch tower for nothing.
Oh, the witch town. Okay. That's a good one.
You know, the pasta dude brought out the point about courage, and whereas I know the big theme and the big principle is truth. In other words, you're seeking truth. I want to be truth. I want truth. Well, all the time, to live that truth means you've got to handle it. And if you handle it, you run the risk of danger. In other words, if you live truthfully, someone's going to look at you and they're going to disapprove of you. And say, you're not one of us anymore. Oh, man, you are not one of us. So the question becomes, do we have the courage to stand up to truth? Not whether or not you like truth. It's, do we have the courage? And it's, I don't know any other way. I don't. So, and interesting, the word courage, it's a French derivation. It C-O-U-R is heart. Do you have the heart? And the heart basically is our seat. It's what drives us. It makes us who we are, not who we say we are. It's who we are. And that's a question. And I think it's separating hearts. What's happening, it's a separation of hearts taking place now. The ones
So
willing,
about 4 or 5 years ago, Joe, Watchtower ran a summer convention built around the theme of courage.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
So they
Um,
commandeer the term courage, and the courage is to run away from anybody that asks you a decent question.
how's that?
Or
How's
just
that?
go, hey, just look up jw.org, and
Yeah.
that's called courage. Well, I'm afraid their whole game is redefining the language. I mean, they're the slave, we're the publisher, when they're the publisher and we're the slave. I mean, come on. They do all that.
Look, just if you just look at it objectively from an outside point of view, it's a human heart management
I'll
system.
get it all in.
It's a classification system. Many are coming in, many came in, but now they're being sifted out. They're sifting themselves out. The ones that say, I didn't come here for this. This isn't my heart. My heart is not in this anymore. And the way you know this, again, you're laying down in bed at night in the dark, silent, and it's just you with you. It's amazing what you and you will tell yourself. And that's,
I like
And
that
that's-
one, Dallas.
What did Dallas say? The Cowardness Convention.
oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, look, so the ones that are staying in, am I going to say, oh, they're all cowards? I can't, no, because the ones that are in are the ones coming out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They are coming out.
Can I just give a quick experience of what happened to us this week? So
Yeah, go ahead.
So Joe and I
All
frequent
right.
this thrift store, and I don't know, about 3 times we saw the sister, and I usually, if I recognize, I'll say hi, whether they say hi or not back. But she didn't. She kind of smiled, and it happened 3 times. And the last time, right away she was looking at her phone, and I said, Joe, I think she's uncomfortable talking to us. So anyway, a day later, we get a text, and she said, I don't go to the Kingdom Hall anymore. And she's listening now. I'm not going to give any names, but she's local. We know her well. And we're going to get together with her. She's going to come to our meetup. So the thought was, boy, that just made me feel so encouraged, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And so happy, because here, you're thinking, oh, they're ignoring us, they're shunning us. No, she's been out, and she's glad she's out, and
Good.
she's living her life. And
Yeah.
she's a younger person,
Yeah.
but she's finally getting to celebrate holidays, celebrating her birthday, and she loves it. Anyway, I just wanted
And
to
that's,
share
that's,
that.
and that's going to
Thank you.
start
That's
millions of others who are coming out
Yeah.
as well.
Absolutely,
There's
yeah.
millions of others who
They're
are going through
leaving
the
right
same
now.
thing.
We've got Matthew that we want to bring
Hello,
on
Matthew.
stage. Where'd you go, Matthew?
I
Are
don't
you-
see him.
I
He
know
was.
he wasn't back. Oh, okay. Well, Matthew, try again. We're here. Anyway, just wanted to share that.
A day doesn't go by. Maybe an hour doesn't go. Hours. A day doesn't go by where I don't reconsider. Why did we do what we did? Should we have done what we did? Should we have
Left.
turned our back on that organization because we didn't want to support their criminality. We did not want to support that. It wasn't truthful for us. It wasn't. We didn't believe in it. But at the same time, we were turning our. Was I turning my back on my family? No, I wasn't turning my back on my family.
No.
I was turning my back on an organization, but that my family is holding to. So you can't get away from it. That means I was turning my back on them. And a day doesn't go by where I don't have feelings about
Oh,
that.
same here.
We don't take the family's pictures down.
Nope.
I walk by them all the time. There's emotions that I feel that I can't even describe when I see them.
Yep, me
I'm
too.
going to have to leave that to the future and to something larger than us. Because I happen to feel there's something much larger than us that's taking place. There is. And they're part of it. Whereas the ones are listening You're part of it. We're all part of this.
We have a few minutes left. We have about 15 minutes left if anyone wants to come on. We'll end at 9 o'clock. Boy, we appreciate, Gail, we appreciate your honesty and your forthrightness and, speaking. Really?
Well, that's the Gestapo in me, it comes right out.
No, it's our place to do that. It's our place to speak up.
Annie just joined us. Hi, Annie.
Hi, Annie.
Hello.
Hi, Annie.
Ooh.
How is everyone doing? Interesting topic. I was busy cutting my hair, so.
You cut your own hair? Good for you.
Yeah, I've been doing it for years.
She's a woman of many talents, Annie.
Yeah, I'll agree to that without being braggart. I will agree.
No,
to
you
it.
are. You're a woman of many talents. Very creative.
So, as you were talking, Joe, I thought to myself, I hadn't heard that they're saying that we're not living in the last days.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
it was on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
I get them mixed up, Cook and Sanderson. I can't tell those two apart.
And who said it?
Cook or Sanderson. I can't tell them two apart. One of those two was saying, I didn't listen to it, but that was the title.
What's his name?
We're not in the end times yet.
He's not a governing body. He's one of the helpers. I'll send it to you, Annie. I'll send it. Yeah, it just came up on the feed.
Oh, did you see it? Did you find it?
Yeah. Look for it. Let's see.
Now, is this for real? This is not AI?
Who knows?
No, it's for real. Couldn't be that ugly for AI.
I think it was on the broadcast or something.
I'm sorry. That wasn't very nice of me. Sorry. Sorry about that.
Sure. Won't have to apologize to me.
Well, if they were going to use AI, it would have looked better.
I can't. I it turns my stomach when I see those men.
Right. Well, what I was thinking, Joe, if indeed they're starting to talk like that could very well wake up your children.
Well, look,
it's going to wake up people.
Look, here's the test. Here's the test. Three people can be listening to the same thing, and it can mean something different to all three.
No, it's true.
And so the question becomes, yeah, I agree. It's going to have an effect on people. Just like all the things they've said has had an effect. And one of the effects is to drive out people who don't want to be there anymore. Right. We're finding out who they are. We're finding out who they are. And I'm glad for that.
Can we say hello to Sky Mendez? Hi, Sky.
Hi there, Sky. Welcome.
Welcome.
What happened to Matthew?
Dallas, everybody.
There's Matthew. No, I got him back. Okay, yep. Okay, here's Matthew. Sky, did you want to say something?
Well, hi, Matthew, and welcome.
You're unmuted, Sky.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Hello.
Oh, hold on.
Okay, take your time. Oh, here it is. The end isn't coming. Watchtower to other JWs. The end probably isn't coming. XJW Analyzer did it 13 hours ago.
I'll have to look for that.
Oh, right in the middle. Right.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Just look up XJW Analyzer. He's
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, John is so helpful.
Okay.
Now, what I wonder what they're going to replace it with. If they're not going to be harping on the last days, what are they going to replace it with?
I don't know.
More
Maybe
lies.
More lies.
Now.
Well, I mean, it sounds like what they're doing is moving towards universalism.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
It sounds like the Jehovah's Witnesses are moving towards universalism.
Oh, yeah, that was said a couple of years ago that they were doing that.
Wouldn't doubt it. Oh, look, we're going to turn our backs, and they're going to be nothing that we're used to. Nothing.
Totally they're going to be on Ramapo on TV. You'll be seeing them on TV when Ramapo is finished.
That's right.
Yeah, it's all going to be digital. No meetings, no.
I mean, within this last 2 decades, there's been so many implemented changes, and it's startling to me that a lot of these individuals, especially those who are much older than what I am, are not taking into consideration what these doctrinal changes truly mean for the religion.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not thinking. They're just listening and obeying out of fear.
Well, I think
Matthew,
too they.
All
I'm
it
sorry.
is.
Go ahead,
Sorry.
Annie.
I was going to say, I think in reality, they have just done that for so long, they may have lost their ability to actually reason and think for themselves. Maybe they just don't even know how to do it anymore.
Scary thing. Scary thing.
I agree.
I
Hi,
do.
Richard.
Yeah.
Hi, Matthew.
Wow, Rick.
Hey, Dallas. How's everybody
Great
doing?
to see you here, Rich, and I'm so happy that you got to celebrate your birthday because
Yeah.
last month it wasn't my first time, but I enjoyed it too, and I'm happy you enjoyed yours too. I'm so happy for
That's
you.
good. I can't eat.
You know, we were just talking about how some people grew up without any birthdays. So my thought was, if you grew up without a birthday, in other words, not even knowing what your birthday was, pick any day that you like and make that your birthday. You know what I mean? Make it personal. I mean, just to show them that you wouldn't give me what was mine. I'm going to take what I like.
And we earned it. We deserve it.
Everybody deserves a birthday. Oh dear.
Did we lose Matthew again?
I think he's got a hard
Yes,
time
he
with
fell
this.
off
Probably his internet. Oh, and Rich couldn't hear us. So let's see. How about now, Rich?
Yeah.
Rich, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear it. I would do it, and then it'll go away. So that's why I signed myself out and got back on. And then I hear it's weird. And then for some reason I hear typing or something. I don't know if it's probably my computer or what.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it could be your signal where you are.
It could be. It might be what it is.
We can hear you, but you're
Yeah.
kind of faint.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't talk too much then.
No, that's okay. We can hear.
It's okay.
But yes, happy belated birthday, and it's a pleasure to celebrate birthdays. That's the number one thing I always like celebrating is a birthday.
Why you deserve it.
We do.
You earned it.
We definitely did.
And
we don't know
that's
how.
where-
I don't know how many more I'll get. So it's best to just celebrate the ones we get.
And that's where, I mean, in your own quiet time, you get to determine what else is important to you. I mean, your birthday is just one thing. There are so many other things that make up your desires, your to be who you are. This is your time. It's your time to do that. It really
That's
is.
right.
Hello, Matthew.
Hi, Matthew. Can you hear us? Okay.
Hi, I don't know if I'm coming through there.
Yes.
Good to be with you. Thank you.
Hi, Matthew. Loud and clear. Well, we've got about 10 minutes, and then we've got to wrap it up.
Go ahead, Matthew. The floor is yours.
Okay. Well, it's just good to be able to connect with you all.
Yeah.
Good to hear you, Gail, and hello, Rich. I don't think we've spoken, but it's nice to be with you, and then Annie as well, and Dallas.
You likewise.
Sky, is anyone I've missed out? And of course the audience. Good to be with you. Of course, it's an exciting day because we can think of the streaming that's coming up in Norway.
Oh yeah, I thought that was yesterday.
The time zone is the 5th here in SAST, which is South Africa. And according to the site, it'll be streamed in my time, SAST, at 10 a.m.
Oh, wow.
And so for us, it will be.
Court case to determine whether or not
You're way ahead of us. Yeah, they're way ahead of
tax.
us. You're like 10 hours ahead of us.
Yeah, South Africa.
Yeah. South Africa, I think, is about 10 hours ahead of us.
Yeah, that sounds about right, Joe. It depends on which state you're in. Amount of time might be different. But Norway is 1 hour difference from us. They say plus 2.
Oh, so you're close.
If you want to see it, go to Vern's channel, Fixing My Faith. He's going to do a recap every day on the Norway.
I want to see it.
Works out.
Oh, good.
So
Thank
Fixing
you.
My Faith. Okay, yeah, he'll do a because it will be during our early morning.
He's going to have his work cut out for him since it'll be in Norwegian.
Oh, won't they have a translator? Won't there be a translator?
Yeah, so we are in this wonderful age of technology where we can translate in real time, or we can do various things. We can stream and we can translate. Yeah, it's a bit of a juggling act, but it is possible. Yeah,
I think I have that on my TV. Well.
So did anyone learn anything tonight?
the joy of silence. Yeah.
Oh.
Where we can just be and we can just have joy. Yeah.
That's right.
I often wonder if they listen into your show, the governing body.
I don't know about the governing body.
I'm sure there'll be someone to listen.
Huh? What, Rich? They would, yeah.
I don't know how regular that is, but they have done, yes.
They don't like.
You do know that.
Truth. They don't like truth, really.
No, they wouldn't like us at all.
It's too true.
Which one?
What? That's right. And that's why the abbreviation. That's why we call them the goblin bigot. Or the goblin bigots.
Hey, we have a question in the chat.
Yeah, I'll answer it right here.
Let's-Go wants to know if we believe in God or if we're agnostic.
If we believe in God, I'll ask another question. Which one? And then it says, are we agnostic? What I would say is, no, we're Italian.
I'm not answering that question.
See, these are titles. These are such loaded titles that all they do is say, hey, you want to put this target on you? I said, yeah, I got this target on me. Well, why do you have that target on you? I don't know. It seems pretty cool. But yet it's a target. And so they trick people to put whatever target someone wants on you. And when someone asks me, do we have, and let's say they have a religion, and I ask them, well, did you come up with that religion?
Someone's echoing.
Yeah, I got Rich and Connie in the background. Go ahead, but
yeah, they asked, and I asked them, did you come up with that religion? And they said no. Oh, well, that's not your religion. It's someone else's religion that you subscribe to. It's like, okay, maybe you'll subscribe to another religion someday. It's like a magazine. I subscribe to this. It's not your. So the question becomes, well, what is your religion?
Mm-hmm.
Something people maybe never bothered developing.
We want to say hi to Rich and Connie Borgie. Hi.
Hello, Rich.
Thank you
and
for
Connie.
joining us. You're muted, Rich. You got to unmute yourself.
Still muted.
Yep, they're doing it.
Okay.
Hi, Connie.
Hi there. Can you hear us okay?
Now we can.
Loud.
Yep.
Does that work?
Hi,
Okay, go ahead.
hi,
Joe and
Dick
Hello.
and
Hi,
Connie.
yeah, hello. Yeah,
Hello.
and thank you for allowing us to come on your program. We've been enjoying it so far. And I just thought I'd throw a little stuff, your way from that I've been picking up off of YouTube. We've got old Rubberface there telling
Lett.
us that Stephen Lett, yes, in case anybody doesn't know, Stephen Lett, and he's trying to tell us just last year we're living in the last seconds of the last seconds of the last days of right?
Insane. Yeah.
And then this other clown comes on, Swingle, I think his name is, little Percy type guy. He comes on, he's going, Wingle is he's Rubberface is saying that Jehovah will not protect you at Armageddon, and Swindle is saying you will be protected at Armageddon. Anyway, the thought that I really wanted to throw out there was they're building structures in the northern part of New York, Wallkill and so forth.
Ramapo.
And these Ramapo and Warwick is the latest one. And that project won't be finished till 2030. And the Watchtower is planning on using that building for maybe 5 or 6 decades, maybe more. So it's awful hard to tell everybody that will listen to them that, hey, listen, we're in the last seconds of the last seconds of the last seconds. And we're building a building that won't be finished till 2030. And we're planning on using it for the next 20 centuries after that. So it's cognizant dissonance. It epitomizes it. And it's just too bad there are people that are that gullible that will believe that crap. I know, I believed it, back in 1970 when I left the Marine Corps to join the JWs because Armageddon was coming in 75.
Yep.
I wasn't joining because I wanted to be religious or I wanted to go knocking on doors. I didn't want to die in 1975, after coming back from Vietnam without a scratch. So I said, wow, I made it through one war and I won't make it through the next unless I change my ways. So a lot of us became Jehovah's Witnesses, not because we loved God, not because we were self-righteous. We just didn't want to die at Armageddon. That's my only thought. Thank you.
Well, that's pretty reasonable.
Yep.
Let me tell you, Dick.
Yep.
Pretty reasonable. They've proven that that they're not good for their word. They're not.
I like what Sister Teresa says. Love is my religion. I tend to agree with you and Vern that always says, keep living your life with love.
It's interesting. In many places, there's some of the latest people on the internet talking about what it means to be human and what it means to love. And what they've come up with the idea for love literally means that you make and maintain connections with people. Because what happens when you don't love somebody, you stop loving someone, you disconnect. You won't do that with someone that you have a bond with. You maintain a bond. And there's some people that are not bond makers. They're not. They just don't like. They're more than willing to break a bond in favor of something. Well, and that's the choice. And honestly, I think that's the choice that people are showing about themselves. They're proving who they are, what type of people they are. It's a great time for that. And the interesting thing is everyone gets to see it now, or more and more get to see it on the internet. We didn't have that before. I mean, there would be another time we wouldn't be talking with people in another several states at the same time, let alone in other continents.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be able to.
And if we were disfellowshipped or disassociated, we wouldn't even know who to talk to.
Yeah.
There was no communication, but now there is.
Now there's the opportunity to make those connections.
I want to put a shout out to Rich and Connie Borgie. They do a program on 6 Screens every other Saturday.
Yeah.
And they have some very interesting topics, and it's on Saturday. What time does it start, Connie?
We're in South Carolina, so it's East Coast at 6 o'clock to 8. Sometimes it runs to 8:30 at night,
Okay.
Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a loyal
Thank
bunch
you
of
for the shout
people.
out.
Yeah, loyal bunch of people that stay connected with Rich's with
Rich and
Rich
Friends,
and Rich, your program and Rich
Rick Fearon.
Rick Fearon's
Yeah.
program. I'm thinking of the things he stuck with over 20 years.
I know.
I mean, without let up.
Joe and Fran.
We're here.
Yeah, I was just thinking about what Dick was saying with Connie there when quoting, who was it, Stephen Lett, eh? The interesting thing is that Stephen Lett was quoting something from far older when he was talking about the generation and the last day of a week and the last part of the last day. That was actually a Watchtower 1967.
Yeah.
January, February, March, April. It was an April magazine that he was quoting. So it's very interesting that that was already done in 1967, and he did that at the beginning of the, or around about, was it 2019 or 2020? But what's interesting is it's about 6 years that's passed. Imagine an 11-year-old making a decision, a life decision based upon that. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Because now they'd be about 18, now 11-year-old or 12-year-old making a decision. Maybe they volunteered and are involved in something that has altered their trajectory based upon that. And guess what? We've repeated the cycle.
So Matthew, good point. A reasonable person, after having gone through that circumstance, a reasonable and humble person would recognize, you know what? I don't think I was correct or right to give my life over to something that's proven itself to be unreliable. It's only reasonable, it's only rational, it's only truthful to stop. And I see that's the course of honesty. That's the course of truthfulness. That's the course of rational. That's the course of being loyal to yourself. And let's say the God you worship, if it's the God of truth and loyalty. See, it's and that's where the self responsibility comes in. It does, you know. And Jesus said, "Look, you know, the kingdom is within you. It's your light. You let it shine. Don't hide it. Be responsible for it. It's your." I really like the concept of kingdom because kingdom has authority. It has presence. It has an army. You know, kingdom has power. You know, if you have a kingdom, you have a power, and of course, responsibility and accountability, because you got a kingdom. What are you going to do with it? And I really think Jesus was laying a really big responsibility on people. I really view Jesus as the prophet at that time. He was the prophet. He was teaching people how to be human. He wasn't teaching people about times. He was teaching people how to be human. That's a prophet.
And that's why they didn't like him.
Put him to death because of that.
I know I said earlier that we were going to stop at 9 o'clock, but we can end the stream anytime we want because we've got the button up there. Shauna and Vern had to go do something. So I like the way one of our viewers put it one time. It's like sitting in our living room chatting here and just kind of getting everyone's views on things and giving everyone a space to talk. And we don't have to agree. You know, this isn't Watchtower that everyone has to be in agreement.
That's right.
No.
Joe, the other thing too is that we seem to be at this existential crisis with regards to any kind of governance because it's
I guess we are. Yeah, I guess so.
But but
Yes.
then it's put us ahead of the curve, hasn't it? Because we're recognizing these things. We see with certain disclosure of certain files for certain places that you could say is the frontier of governance, and how it is so interwoven into so many different systems that the crisis is existential, and that persons are saying no confidence in any of this, especially when now it has environmental impacts, and we don't see what can we say, a reverse polarity to trying to address those kind of things. It just seems to be on just 5-year plans and trying to negotiate the current litigation. And until that is unblocked, well, I can say I personally, in my own deduction, am not too hopeful about a place like Norway.
Right. No, I understand. I understand. They're governments. You know, they're part of world governance. You know, do they really have a responsibility to humans? You know, I think they have a responsibility to governance, personally. So we will see. We will
Some of that abuse was going on for 14 years before it was they actually were able to lock people away. 14 years.
Yeah. You know, I really have. I truly believe that the beauty of man is his loving kindness. I like that statement that someone put there in the Bible that was made. I'm not sure where it was, but the beauty of man is his loving kindness. But now on the other side of it, the ugliness of man is his deviance. And this is where the governments and religions and anyone in authority, kings, have proven their desire to enslave, to exploit, to murder, and to steal. And it's gone down from history, from the beginnings of history. Man, governance, kings have been willing to have slaves of all sorts, and people who are willing to secure and procure those slaves for them, all down through history. That's man. So, the beauty of man is his loving kindness. Beautiful. That's the nice part. Question is that what we produce? Is that what we bring forth? That's what Jesus said. Bring forth that. So don't bring forth what those other guys do. And he condemned religions for that, because they were bringing forth, well, the ugliness, the deviance. And boy, let me
It
tell
sounds like you had some persons responding favorably to you. I was listening to, I couldn't hear too much, but I heard something like Fran discussing somebody who wouldn't talk, or you had some kind of, I couldn't quite grasp it. It was enough for me just to pick up.
I thought she was shunning us, but she's been wanting to connect with us. And so she did. She reached out to us, and we know her well.
Yeah.
She's listening. She's listening tonight.
Yeah, when
and she
That's
doesn't live
awesome.
far from us, so she'll come to our meetups. And we're just so happy that she left.
Oh.
Fran, I'm on the lookout for anybody who wants to connect. You might have mentioned Africa or persons in Africa. I'm on the standby. The standby. They can connect through the email, which is a safe thing. But please, by all means, if they're listening there, they're very welcome to connect. We're just waiting for it to happen. Some are already connecting. Some are pioneers, active pioneers in the congregation.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah.
The specific person we were talking about is in Cameroon. If they're listening, Cameroon, Africa, and I did give him your email, so I will give out your email as long as you give us permission. Let's Go has he's in the chat, and he was a need grader. He's in North Carolina. He's fading, and let's see. So we told him to contact us. He was at Bethel for 2 years. He was a need grader. He was an RP. What's that, Matthew? What's an RP?
RP.
Remote volunteer somehow. I don't know what the P is for.
And he's been a Kobe. He's been a Kobe for 12 years till about a year ago.
Okay.
So we
What's that?
welcome. Let's
What's a
go.
Kobe? What's a Kobe?
Coordinator of the body of elders.
Yeah, coordinator of body of elders. They used to be the
Like the
presiding
top
overseer.
elder, like presiding overseer.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Let's go. My dad is
regular
in
pioneer.
his
Thank you.
70s, and he was the Kobe for since the 80s. And he just couldn't stand it. They basically falsified records. We watched them just falsify things. And I said, Dad, how did this happen? How did this happen? And he says, Matt, the way it happened is they sent in their own incentivized people. He said it happened gradually as needs graters. But what it was an identification of anybody that was maybe a little bit fringe or not quite pushing perhaps properties towards the mothership. And what they just did is they took their younger generation, they incentivized them, and they just went in and got what they wanted. That was how it happened. And then when the good people were pushed out, that was what was left.
Yeah, let go. I know you're fading and you probably don't want to show yourself. If you'd like to come on, you don't have to show your face. Just go to the live chat and you can go on to the link and come in that way. But we understand if you don't want to because you've probably got a lot to lose.
No, I mean, everyone that's come out has had a strategy for coming out.
Yeah.
And that's a very personal thing because you're going to be responsible for whatever happens. And frankly, the transaction taking place there is that the honest hired person says, I want to be responsible. I'm willing to take responsibility because it means my truthfulness. It means who I am. Otherwise, I can't look at myself in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like myself when I go to bed at night. I don't like the person I have become because of Watchtower. I have to do something. And that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. People are doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Fran, can I
Yes.
share an experience with you?
Absolutely. All of us.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Let's
yes,
all.
of course. Of course. I just didn't want to be rude. I just,
No,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
okay.
good.
Yeah. So I was going to say, after we had our show Saturday night, it's really interesting because I was really, really tired. We were hit. I'm a California girl originally, and so now we live in South Carolina. And this is our second snowstorm, and it might be pretty to look at, but I don't like to drive in it. So it just took a lot out of me. We were in the house trying to get a lot done. And anyway, when the show came Saturday night, it's like, oh man, I'm so tired, Rich. She said, that's okay. I'll do the show alone. And it's like, no, I don't want that. So anyway, we did the show and we were really happy with it. And I'm on Facebook as well, like a lot of you are. And there was a lady that reached out to me. I'm not quite sure if I should really say her name. I think I will not at this point.
Yeah, that's
but she
okay.
reached out to she reached out to me like the next day and wanted to be a friend of mine, So I have learned that I don't automatically accept somebody's friendship. I always check their profile to be sure who they are, right?
Sure.
So, anyway, she was legitimate. And anyway, so she, I accepted her friendship and I didn't really say anything. And then she sent me an instant message and she gave me some background as far as who she is. She's originally, I guess, from New York. They don't live there anymore, but it's she and her husband, and they had been in the organization. She said she was a regular pioneer for many, many years. I think they were both born in, from what it sounds like. And he had been an elder for several decades. Several decades could be 30, 40 years when you say several, right? That means 3 or more. So,
Right.
Anyway, she's 62, so I figure he's about, that age as well. And she's working on her education. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is they just left the organization 2 years ago. 2 years ago. They just woke up, and they apparently have been, watching us and other people as well, which I think is awesome. And I thought it was amazing. It was like, oh my gosh, I hope we get her to be able to open up and not be afraid to come, on the air and just, I mean, they don't have to say who they are. But I said to Rich, I said, oh my gosh, Rich, I'm so thrilled. This wife, she reached out to us, and I was doing my happy dance. I mean, I really was 2 years ago. I mean, I've been out of the organization myself 42 years. So
Wow.
to me, it's like another lifetime. I started studying at 16, got baptized with the Truth Book. 10 months later, got baptized, and I was in until I was 28. So, I'm 70 now. So I've been out 42 years. I've been out a long time. But I'm thrilled when there's somebody new that's just gotten out. And, friends, we're all making a difference. I mean, you might, Fran, you might just say, well, you can read somebody's body language and you think, oh, well, excuse me, she looked down at her phone, so maybe, she really doesn't want to talk to me. But
Right.
you just
You don't
never
know.
know.
That's
I
right.
think what it was in the case that you ran into that lady at the store, I think she probably wanted to come up and give you a big hug and kiss. But,
Yeah.
she didn't know who would see her. And, God
Yeah.
forbid there's somebody in the congregation that happens to come into the same store.
Yeah.
So,
true.
you'll have to let us know how that all turns
We
out,
will. Oh
because
yeah,
yeah,
we're gonna
I
get
think
together
it's so
soon.
exciting.
Yes.
Oh, I think that's so
Thank
wonderful.
you for sharing
Thanks.
that, Connie.
Thanks, Connie.
And I just want to
Well,
say that we. No, I was just
yeah,
going
if
to
I
say.
can,
Yeah, go ahead.
Mhm.
Go ahead. We
I
want to
just
let.
wanted to
let
finish, honey.
some-
Yeah, so she said she would like for she and her husband to be able to hook up with us just through Facebook. But I just, that's what's so beautiful about these communities. You can reach out to people. There's a face behind the voice and the name, and it's a large community, and we're really making a big difference to help people with a lot of love.
Well, we tell
So thank
people,
you.
Thank
you for being part of it. We tell people that there are people like you, like them, looking for people like them.
Right.
They need
Right.
you as much as you need them. You're
Right.
looking for each other, and everyone's showing us that that's what's happening. That
Right.
that is exactly what's happening. People are coming
Did you want to
forth
say something, Rich?
and
Rich
supporting
wants to
each
say
other.
something. Go ahead now.
Let's go.
Joe,
You're next.
I concur with you 100%. People need to call, Joe and Fran, 6 Screens, anybody that has an open forum like this. But I can tell you, I've been doing it for 20 years. I started with Rick. We started it together. And every time I host a program, and when it's over, I feel so much better. I feel good
Uh,
about myself. And the PTSD that everybody has
yeah,
that was in that organization for any amount of time, you might
Yeah.
not know you have it,
yeah,
but you do, because you
Oh,
have
yeah.
the expectation that Armageddon is going to come at any minute, and it's going to be the tribulation like the world has never seen before, and you're going to be in it, or you're going to be exposed to it. You've
Yeah.
got that hanging over your head all the time. You have PTSD, post-traumatic stress
I know I do.
disorder. You have it. You don't
I
think you do.
definitely
A
do.
lot of people don't think they do. Oh no, I don't have it, but you
I do.
do. You do. And I'll tell you, the more you're on these forums, it's cathartic. The more you go on Joe and Fran's program or Rick's program and you talk about it, you get it out. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be bullet points or anything else. Something that you're feeling, get it out. I know I feel so much better being on 6 Screens that my PTSD from being in the watchtower was worse than my PTSD that I had when I was a Marine in Vietnam and I was shot at and had to shoot at other people. The stress from that organization with Armageddon hanging over your head is horrible. So keep talking about it.
Yeah.
And I would say the best way to get over the PTSD is number one, prayer. Number two, talk about it. Read your Bible. That's, you know, I'm living proof it works.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
Let's go
I
through-
agree with you that being in that cult is worse than what you faced in Nam. I don't doubt it.
Hey,
I
Dallas.
agree
Yeah, we're
too.
gonna
I totally
We're going to
agree.
welcome.
we're gonna help. Let's go. Let's go.
Hi,
Well-
let's go.
Thank you for joining us.
Welcome on Let's Go. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for
Welcome.
having me as well. It's a pleasure. So I wasn't following the whole conversation because we had Zoom meeting today, and I was in and out going to the meeting and coming over to hear you guys, But I had heard Joe and Fran in the past some time ago. I heard your experience, so
Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah. So I was serving as a Kobe here in this area. We moved from Massachusetts to start a group, Spanish group.
Oh, right.
And we moved in 2017. And after 2 years of working hard, the group would form a small group, my family and another family. And we had a brother from another part of North Carolina moved down here, and we formed a congregation. We needed another brother to have the body of elders. So about 2019, the congregation was formed. And then I was serving as a Kobe, the Kobe in the congregation. My father-in-law as the service overseer till about a year and a few months ago.
Wow.
And regular pioneer. And served with the Need is Greater in Guatemala for a few years, started some congregations there. And in Massachusetts, I got the privilege, I guess, to help out form congregations, new congregations, in Massachusetts as well in the Spanish, and I also served up for 2 years.
Wow.
We're probably all wondering what woke you up, if you don't mind us asking.
I think there's a few things that contributed to that. One of the things that affected me significantly, basically, was the beer situation. I had a few studies over the years that wanted to progress and work in the congregation with their beer, progress. And I would write to the branch about 2 times regarding the beer, and I would mention how I felt that this was something that was not biblical, or that some of my studies were having a hard time. Now, I personally didn't grow up. I grew it now a little bit, but I can't grow because I got like cantinflas in Spanish. Cantinflas just grows to the side. So I wasn't too worried about me. It was my studies. So I wrote to the branch twice about that. And of course they said, well, people could stumble, and I would explain my reasons. And so that was one of the things. And then the other thing, I wanted to be a police officer when I was a little kid. So I wrote to the branch several times about that. I even wrote to the branch when I was serving at Beto, because that desire was always there. And the last time I wrote to the branch about it was about 3 years ago, after my dad, passed away. He committed suicide.
So sorry.
Yeah, he was disfellowship for a few years, and it took forever for the elders to get him to come back to the congregation. I contacted the CO, and I spoke to some of the elders that were, in that area, where actually one of them was working with me in the body of elders years ago. But that took forever. Eventually he did get reinstated, but about 2 years later he committed suicide.
They have blood on their hand with that too.
Yeah, so then about a year and a half ago or so, I decided that once my dad passed away, I decided that I gotta go ahead and do something I wanted to do all my life, which is to be a cop. Now, mind you, I was serving as a coordinator by the elders. And so I wrote to the branch about it again. And again, they said, well, if you were to decide to do this, you will no longer be able to serve as a regular pioneer or elder in a congregation. And, you wouldn't have any privileges. And of course, I explained to the branch why I felt that this should be a conscience matter, thinking about Peter. Cornelius, once he got baptized, they didn't tell him he needed to get rid of his sore or his position in job. So I went ahead and I started studying in the academy or BLET to become a law enforcement officer. And that's primarily.
Excellent. Good for you.
That's awesome.
So
that is so cool.
Yeah, so for most of my friends, I mean, everybody, I grew up in the congregation or in the truth, and not everyone knows about me serving up as a police officer, but some that do, they're very upset or worried about it. But it's something that I needed to do. It was in my conscience for many years that I wanted to do it. And
beautiful.
Yeah, you're really serving.
Wow,
you're really
that's
serving
awesome.
people.
Yeah, you listen. You listen to yourself.
Yeah. But like Joe mentioned, I heard him say about, that was a good answer as to if he believes in God. And he said, which God? That's exactly right. I thought it was a pretty good answer. There's so many.
Right.
But at this time, I'm still trying to figure that out. Sometimes I feel like, have you heard of Spinoza? He's a philosopher.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So sometimes, well, maybe I'll believe in the God of Spinoza. Or maybe there might be something out there I just don't know, because if I was born in India, I'm sure I'll be a different religion.
Yeah.
I also read, well, I don't know if I should say this because I don't want to get in trouble. I'm a member of the congregation, active publisher, but I don't know who's connected. But I did read Brother Fran's book. Right after I made the decision to leave as one of the elders in congregation, or the core of the congregation, of the body of elders, I mean. But I was very nervous reading this book. I thought I was betraying Jehovah, right? So it was but it was a good book, and I think that also got me feeling better about the decision I made. I just didn't feel any more comfortable talking. See, I gave parts in the assemblies, regional assemblies, circuit assemblies for many years, and the last, before I renounced as an elder, I had given an assignment to give a talk in the assembly, and when I went through the outline, I just didn't feel comfortable giving that talk. And for about a year now, before I stopped serving as an elder, giving talks at assemblies or congregation, whenever we talked about 1914 and other subjects, I felt uncomfortable. So I thought it was right, not just because I wanted to be in law enforcement, but also my conscience wasn't right with some of the teachings.
Fabulous.
So that's some of the story. There's more to it, but that's about the gist of it. The
Thank you
majority
for
of it.
sharing.
Yeah.
And you're courageous for showing your picture, your face, and everything. I just noticed that everyone's face is on here, and that's really good.
See, you're a man of trueness. You're a man of trueness.
Yeah, you're living your truth. Someone asked, what is truth? The truth is within us.
Yeah.
We have to ask ourselves, are we living our truth?
That's what we tell ourselves. Like you said, your conscience.
Yep.
It's like we tell us in the dark, in the quiet, all alone. That's your truth.
You have to be
Thank
authentic.
you.
Yeah, it's really important. My husband's from Massachusetts. It's interesting you're from Massachusetts. Rich, you grew up in Dracut and Lowell, and he's in Massachusetts his whole life. So it's interesting you're originally from Massachusetts.
Yeah, I went to Lowell Spanish a lot to give talks there.
Lowell Spanish. Oh wow.
Lowell Spanish.
Did you ever come up to Utica, New York? They have a Spanish congregation. where we were?
No, I served, well, while I was in Beto, I served in two congregations. One was Queen's Spanish. Queen's Spanish. I don't think they're there anymore. And then Bronxwood Spanish. I also served in the Bronx.
Can I put another name out there? Did you ever know a Matt Beckstead? He was in Spanish and he was at Bethel.
I don't remember that
wife,
name.
yeah, his first wife passed away and then he remarried. Really nice brother. We were friends with him. Really nice. We haven't contacted him, but we haven't been.
When I was at Bethel, there was more than 3,000 brothers.
You have the speaker.
Okay. Yeah, it's a lot.
I served in the waiter crew, so I got the privilege to work with our brother Hencho, because we lived in the same building at 124 Columbia Heights. And he lived in the 10th floor and I lived on the 5th floor. But once in a while, I got the assignment to walk him, because he got dementia, to get him from his apartment, bring him down to the commissary. But he was a very, very gentle man, the way he spoke. But, you know, he had a little Alzheimer's. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool. I would walk with him and talk a little bit about the history. Back then, I was really into, you know, serving. I served in Guatemala for 10 years as a need grader. So I was completely in, you know. So to me, most of my life has been in a congregation. It was a big change, pretty dramatic change, you know, very, very tough to overcome. And, you know, I'm still, once in a while, I got some, that this cognitive dissonance or that situation. Like, I don't know if, you know, it's still hard. I'm trying to.
It is.
It
takes time.
You know, the human part of the organization is what basically attracted all of us, I think. At least most of us, the human part. But unfortunately, it's a bad arrangement for humans because of its racket. It's called like nature. It's like I don't think any one of us wanted to get involved in a racket, an illegal situation that secured wealth. That's what a racket is. It's illegal. I don't think any one of us wanted that. We wanted the humanity. You know, we wanted the involvement with others who felt the same. And I believe the people are still there that still want that. And that's the only reason we do what we do. Is we believe that the interaction with each other is the healing that everyone needs. That's what it needs. It needs you for each other.
Well, you and Fran are a great example, because both of you, when I heard you guys some time ago, I heard that you guys have kids in the organization, the Truth. So, well, that's tough. But that was a helping thing for me when I heard that, because, you know, all of my friends are in the congregation and some family as well. So to see what you guys, the example you put forth is a great help for some of us that are losing a lot of family and friends. And you know, some of them think pretty much you lost your trust in God, or you left because you're not serving as an elder or as a pioneer, or you're not going to everything, that you don't have, you left Jehovah. And what I tell them, hey, you know, whoever I talk to, I haven't left God. I just, as a matter of fact, I might be stronger spiritually now, I tell them.
No, you probably, I'm sure you are. Really, I'm sure you are. I know we felt the same way.
So, but it is still tough, you know, they turn their backs on you, and I don't blame them. That, you know, that's how I was too. Like I remember somebody was not doing good, that's a bad example, you know, or someone. So I don't blame them. It's the teachings that I was part of, because I remember teaching those things too. You know?
And this is where what helped me, and still does, and I'll always rely on this. What helps me is, you know, there's a silly little statement. They said, well, what would Jesus do? You know, What would he do in this circumstance? What would he do? Because honestly, I think he made the right moves every time. I really do.
He didn't shun anyone.
No, he didn't shun, and he stood up for what was true. There was risks for it. It's like, man, that's a great example to follow. Then that's what we believe in. He's a great example to follow.
Just want to let you know we have some connections in North Carolina. We've had 2 meetups there. If you want to give us your information offline, we can let you know where they're at. If you ever want to go to a meetup, meetups are great because you get to meet people in person. I mean, this is nice. We're online, but I mean, we've met Gail in person, Rich and Connie, and Annie. So, you know, if you ever want to meet up, let us know. We've got a lot of folks in North Carolina. And Dale is in North Carolina.
That sounds good. Yeah. Well,
can I say something to Let's Go?
Oh,
please.
Hey, let's go. I agree with you. I didn't go. I went. The only reason why I got involved with the organization is because I thought that's where God wanted me to go. I never left God. I was brought up a Christian, and I was a Protestant. My dad brought me up. I went to church all the time, so I had God. God was in my life then, and I left the organ. I did not leave God. I agree with you. God is very much in my life. I didn't go there for the people either. You know what really made me want to go in there was the resurrection hope, because I lost so many family members. I mean, my mother was one of 11. It's down to 3. All my father's relatives have passed away. My children's other grandparents, I'm the only grandparent my children have right now. And I wanted to reunite with all my loved ones and my family members and a lot of my friends. I lost 6 friends in the past 5 months. So,
Hello today. Can you hear me? Hello today.
Hello, Chang. Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you,
That's what made me come.
Hello, that Rich was in my restaurant about 4 or 5 days ago, and he tried to order the bullset noodle today. He did not pay for the food. Oh my God, what the?
How much does he owe you?
He owes me a lot of money, but the thing is, right, he come in the second time, yeah, and he ordered the full order of the poo-poo platter. Oh my God, it's so disabled today. Oh my God, like a what?
And he left twice without paying?
Yeah, he ran out the door and he tried to grab my Tootsie Roll. Rich, where's my money today? Like a
Did he order a drink while he was at it?
he did order a drink. He come in there and he ordered the full order, the big black cocktail.
One of your friends, Rich?
Bad boy, Rich.
Nice.
Where did he go? He left.
He left.
You bad boy, Rich. You owe him money.
Well, Fran and Joe, one of the things I want to mention, I have, my wife, I got 2 kids, and my wife is fully in, but though she actually stopped serving as a pioneer very recently, but, she has felt the difference from when I was fully in as the coordinator by the elders, giving talks in assembly. I was the overseer for the attendance in the assemblies, the regional assemblies and circuit assemblies. And, she feels that the change, that the way they treat her now, like pretty much, well, you're not married to an exemplary brother anymore. But I try to keep a low profile, not try to do too much, because I know she'll be very affected if this was to go out, somebody was to see me, which I didn't want to put the camera on. I don't know how that happened, but anyways, I'm always because I don't want her to.
Yeah, we understand totally.
Yeah.
No, it's important to keep peace.
What I'm going to say about that is life. Oh boy, life is filled with uncertainty, and what the Watchtower did to kind of mess our minds up is they they tried to sell us certainty.
Yeah.
There is no certainty. There is no certainty. There's no
Right.
certainty that when someone gets married, when two people get married, that they're going to live happily ever after. No certainty to that. There's no certainty that this new child born is going to grow up and be happy and be one. There's no certainty to that. There's no certainty to anything. And I swear the best thing we could do is go forward with the best information that we could get. And honestly, we need more information every day.
And if I could give any advice to Let's Go, because, well, Joe and I came out together, but Ken Mayo is the one that we first called, and he talks to a lot of people and a lot of ex-elders.
He was an elder.
And he said the first thing is to treat your wife loving and kind and do things with her, take her out to breakfast, do fun things with her. She's going to see the difference between what real life is and what life is in that organization.
In other words, she is the love of your life.
That's right.
And that if she doesn't feel that, well, that's a problem.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Yeah, we're trying to do as much as I can with her to show her that just because I'm not serving as an elder pioneer doesn't mean that my love for you has changed. As a matter of fact, it's stronger because now I have a little bit more time, where before I had to study for the circuit overseer and the meetings. Now I have a little bit more time to spend with her and do things with her.
That's right. And she'll see that.
I'm sure she'll crave that.
Yes.
I'm sure that
as a matter of fact, she just came through the my little office space and poke her head out like, "Are you ready to go to bed and watch a series?"
How old are your children?
Guess what?
Whoops.
All right. Can we talk later?
Oh yeah.
Okay. That was my daughter.
How old is she? How old is she?
13.
Wow.
Oh, great. Well, we're not. Let's Go. We're not going to kick you out, but I think you got a family to attend to. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think so. But it was nice. I enjoyed talking to you all, and
same here.
Well, we enjoyed having you on here for the first time, and welcome to our family. And I do live in North Carolina as well.
All right. Well, sounds good. Once I go. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I go through North Carolina a lot. I mean, sometimes I gotta take an inmate or an IVC to Raleigh area, all the way up to Wilson, North Carolina. So
Wilson.
Well, I know where that is because I got relatives from and some in Greenville.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good.
Oh,
But it's a pleasure meeting you. Good night, Joe and Fran. Thank you for your great experiences that I've.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you for sharing.
Let's go.
Great. Thank you.
It was nice listening to you.
Nice meeting you, and take care now.
Yeah,
Joe,
please come
Joe,
back.
Is there an email address to your profile or something?
Yes. Matthew, are you able to put up an email? It's
And your phone number.
Yep. J A N as in Nancy, D as in David, F for Fran, GUERINO@gmail.com. And our phone number is area code 315-221-0130. And we're in New York State, so we're the same time zone.
All right.
Yeah, don't hesitate to call or text or email.
Yes.
All right. Okay. And that email, I didn't write it down, but is it written somewhere in the comments or something?
Matthew, I think someone's putting it in the chat. I can put it in the chat.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the
we'll
chat.
Put it in. Yeah.
For some reason, it bounced at Fran, but I'm going to put it into the other chat box.
Okay, and I'm putting it into Matthew.
If you want to reach me, just dial 911 for Carter County and ask for the.
And you'll come running.
Ask for the only Spanish deputy on the road. And then
Oh,
you can-
man, that's a distinction. That's a distinction. I'm proud of what you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
Yes,
much.
thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Thank you for your
sharing.
service.
Well, thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to serve.
You
I used
know,
to serve a lot in the organization. Now I'm serving, but in a different way.
That's
Amen.
right.
You're serving your community is what you're doing right now.
I
You
love
be
it.
safe out there. Be very safe out there.
Please be safe and
Yeah.
God bless you. And I gotta pray for you too in that way.
Thank you. I appreciate it, buddy.
Love you.
I will be sending you an email right now before I head out to spend time with my beautiful wife.
Oh,
Yes,
thank you.
that's what you do.
Thank you. Okay, love you.
Great to meet you. Let's
Love
go.
you.
Let's
Nice
go.
meeting you. Take care, now.
All right. Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye. Good
Good
night.
night.
Thank you.
Bye. Good night.
Well, wasn't that nice?
Yes, that was very
great.
nice.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Hmm.
Well,
And
thank you all for being you.
Yes. Thank you for
You know,
staying.
Joan Friend, I just wanted to ask you a question. So just to understand, I mean, he just from the picture, he looks like he's maybe late 20s, somewhere in his 30s. Maybe I'd say 30s if he has a
I think
Got two
later.
kids.
13-year-old.
He's got two children.
Yeah, I
He's got
think
a
he just looks young.
13-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
looks
He got-
young.
So
I see.
his wife is still in, and
Yes.
he's not an elder, but
No.
Anymore.
I'm not judging. I'm just asking. But you know, Jerry, a police officer has to have a gun, and Watchtower
Yeah.
was always against that.
Right. That's
So
why he
how-
can't serve. He can't serve as an
Just can't
elder,
serve.
a pioneer.
Yeah.
He can't serve.
They said
Right.
they lose his privileges.
Right.
So it's fine.
So is he still like going to the meetings and out in
Yes.
service, or?
He
Yes.
said he's going to the Zoom meetings.
Yeah. I'm sure he's doing what he can do to go the next step.
Yeah. And to
He
save
sounds like a
peace.
man of action.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty tough when you're married and he has woken up and she hasn't. Rich wants to say something. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this is to Let Go, who's a police officer now. I'd say congratulations. It's not easy these days. You know, when Moses led the Israelites out of bondage in Egypt, in our Heavenly Father, I don't call him Jehovah, I call him Yahweh, or the great I am. But they all carried weapons. They all carried weapons. They went into a lot of different, the Bible tells you in Exodus, they had a lot of combat experience, especially in Jericho, where they marched around the walls. And when the walls came down, they went in there and they killed everything. Man, woman, child, baby, horse, donkey, whatever. They killed everything. The weapon of choice was a sword in those days.
Mm-hmm.
Now this Let Go young man, who I'm very impressed with, he's carrying a gun. That is the weapon of choice nowadays, especially for law enforcement. It's an honorable profession. It truly is. There's so many bad people out there. But if the Israelites could carry a weapon all through the desert 40 years, Let Go can certainly carry a weapon. It's just one of the crazy laws that they invented. All the while, they're invested in a lot of defense contractors.
Oh, it's crazy.
I'm sure he's carrying a 38 or a 45 or something, a Glock or something like that on his hip. The Watchtower is deeply invested in companies. I can't think of them right off the top, but they've got big money in companies that make armament, make guns, all kind of stuff to kill people. In the military, they were JRAD. They've invested with them. They're invested with Lockheed Martin. They're invested with a lot of big defense contractors.
They are.
So they are
Absolutely.
super hypocrites. And if I don't know if
Yes.
Let Go is off the air right now, but tell him I have the highest regard for him. And if he ever wants to come down to South Carolina, he can visit us.
That's
Nice.
awfully nice. Yes.
Nice. Yeah. And you know, I just
Joe?
like there's so many more coming out.
Yes. They are
Uh,
hypocrites
Glenn-
because I belong to a gun club with an elder and his wife. And one of the elders that I know of today has an arsenal in his basement. So they're definitely hypocrites.
I agree. Absolutely.
But you remember the story of Jesus, you know, when he was
Yes.
being arrested in the Garden of Gethsemane, Peter pulls out his sword. Peter's carrying a sword now. And that's in the Bible about Peter carrying a sword.
And he cut
And
his
he
ear
cuts
off.
off of the high priest's servant, okay? That took a lot of guts, but he's the right-hand man of Jesus Christ, and he's carrying a weapon. So who is the watchtower to tell Let's Go that he can't carry a weapon? That's ludicrous.
They're the liars.
Yeah.
They're the liars. They're the scammers. They're the scammers. We're gonna thank you so much. We're gonna cut loose now, everybody.
Yes.
Good night,
Thank you
everybody.
for coming on.
All right,
y'all.
Good night, everyone. Have a good rest of the week.
Love
Thank
you.
Take
all.
care, Lickin Connie, Matthew, Gail, Rich, Joe, Fran.
And we have to keep
Have a
on.
good rest of the week.
We have to
Thank you.
keep on. We have to keep on living our lives with love.
With love.
Yeah,
Right.
with love.
And we can do.
Hey.
We can hit that and stream.
Thank
Love
you,
you all.
Good
everyone.
night. Love
Night,
you.
night.
I need to do it one more time. The what you call it's supposed to come on the outro.
Will it automatically?
Shauna said we could do it.
What's this down here?
I'll try it. Maybe that's it. Well, we can't end
We're
it.
dealing with technology.
Apparently, we can't end it. Can you end it, Matthew?
What's on your screen, Fran?
It says end stream,
And stream
and that's what Shauna
doesn't
said. Just
seem to
press
work.
it.
Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, because we're tapping it.
So
Oh,
first
Wait
step
a
is
minute.
we
Wait a
figured
minute.
it out.
Wait a minute.
We got it.
We don't have a tap screen. I love you all. We're not so smart.
Good night.
Good
All
night.
right, and then again, play outro. Right.
Go ahead.
We're over here
Jeez.
tapping.